don't know where my other brother worked. I think he worked over there at Broderick's too. Mm-hmm. And my dad worked there. Mm-hmm. But my brother that was an artist, he went on to get a better occupation. He went on to art and drawing for that newspaper, and he made a lot of money. And he finally left there and went to Detroit, and went to Canada and married a Canadian woman. And then he after he married this Canadian woman, he came back from Canada. Mm-hmm. And came here to Muncie and stayed a while. Mm-hmm. And he brought this little woman here, and she was a Canadian. And she would tell my mother, "Mother, you're just rooming here. This is my husband's home." My brother used to send my mother money when he lived up there in Detroit and Canada. He would send her money to help her out. And my other brother that lived in Detroit, he would send her money too. And but this Canadian woman, my brother used to send my mother money to make payments on the place. And so she thought it was her house when she came down here. Mm-hmm. And she told Mama she was just rooming there, that was her house. Really? And my mother run her out of that house. My brother had to go clear across town and find a place for them to stay. Because she was carrying on so and treating my mother so bad. My brother had to take her on out there. Tell Mama, you're just rooming here. This is not your house.
Was she a French woman, white woman?
Canadian. So she was, they're not real white, but they're whiter than we are. She was Canadian. And she was a little old short woman, but she was awful. And didn't anybody like her in the family. Mm-hmm. So my brother took her and they went across town. They lived over there on Jackson Street for a while, and they finally went on back to, she got to go on with some man here, seemed like, and they separated, and my brother got divorced from her and married another woman in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And then they went out to, I think they went to California, him and his wife, and he died. I don't know what, it seemed like that he fell and died from that fall. I think that's what it was. I don't remember for sure, but anyway, we had a good life. We were close to each other, and we didn't never had no trouble between our brothers and sisters. We all loved each other, and we all could live together. But when they brought their in-laws in, when things went wrong. Mm-hmm. But we were pretty close-knit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How would you describe the relationships among blacks and whites when you first got here?
Well, they were prejudiced naturally. There was all of that. They would treat you nice, but they didn't want you to get too close to them. I mean, like we are now, white people. You see more Negroes with white women now than you ever seen in your life. And they just got to have them with an old poor white woman, no matter what kind of white woman she is. Mm-hmm. There's one lives right over there now with a boy that's he was a boy, he's a man now. He got a baby. Anyway, the white people just felt superior. Mm-hmm. I remember when you used to go down to the markets and the 10-cent stores and all those places. Why, they had the white women clerks in there. They didn't have no Negroes. If they was doing anything, it was cleaning up the place after the place was closed. But when you go in there to buy something, they'd wait on all the white people first. And I went in the Woolworth store. I think it was Woolworth. It was something I wanted, and I went to where it was at, and I had it there looking at it, and I kept waiting on this girl to wait on me. She kept passing me, going waiting, just waiting for the white people to come in. She wouldn't wait on me because I was a Negro. I went up to the office, and I asked that man, did he want to sell that stuff down there he had in the store? He said, yes. Why? I said, well, I've been standing there waiting. That girl is that clerk is there. She won't wait on me. She keeps passing by me. And he come down there and he got on her about that because he wanted to sell that stuff. That's what he had it there for, to sell. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't going to wait on me because I was a Negro. And it happened to me in the meat markets, too. Mm-hmm. They walked past you. They would walk past you and go and wait on the white people first. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't wait on you. And I know I went in there in the one meat shop and they kept passing by me. And I went to another one and I wanted some chops. My husband liked those nice lean pork chops. And I was trying to pick the ones out that we was going to be able to eat. Mm-hmm. He told me, you have to take them as you come to them. You can't pick them out. I said, well, I don't have to take none of them. And I walked on out of there. I said, I'm not going to pay for something that I don't want. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pay for something that I do want. Mm-hmm. And I said, if I can't get the kind of meat I want, I'll just go to another meat market. And there was a whole lot of meat markets on Walnut Street then. Mm-hmm. And I would go on to another one. And I've had it happen to me many times. One time I went in the 10-cent store. I think it was Woolworths. And I bought something. It was either Woolworths or the Walgreens store. Anyhow, I bought something, and I come up there to checkout place, and I showed her what I handed her what I had, and she packaged it, and I handed her a $5 bill. And she come give me some change for $1. Yeah. I said, I gave you a $5 bill. I want my change. Mm-hmm. She said, oh, no, you didn't. I said, you better give me my change because I gave you $5 and I'm going to have that change. Mm-hmm. And she hollered up there to the manager. She says she give me $5. I said, in the first place, you had no business putting that $5 bill in the cash register until you gave me my change. Mm-hmm. He made her take all of that money out of that cash register, and there was people lined up waiting to get waited on. He made her take that money out and take out what was there when she started working, because they always have that money in there for you to use for change. He made her take all that money out that was in there and take out what was there when she started, and then count the rest of it. And she counted it, and then people all had to wait till she counted it. And when she got counted, she found that she had that $5. But she had done, I guess she thought I was stupid enough because I was black, that I would just walk on out. Mm-hmm. I said, you better give me my change. Mm-hmm. I gave you a $5 bill, and you have no business putting my $5 away until you give me my change. Mm-hmm. And she'd give me my change, and I didn't see her there no more after that. Huh? She got fired. And another old peck woman in a 10-cent store, now I've lost my thought. She was just walking past me. Mm-hmm. And I'm standing there with what I wanted to buy in my hand, and I wanted her to take it and take my money and wrap up my package and give it to me. She just kept walking past me. Mm-hmm. And finally I went back there to the office and asked the manager did he want to sell that stuff? He said, yes, why? I said, well, I've been standing down there all this time, and I wanted to buy such, whatever it was, I don't know what it was now. I said, I wanted to buy this, but she keeps walking past me, and she's looking for other people to wait on. She don't want to wait on me. He'd come down there, too, and he told her he had that stuff in there to sell. And he didn't care who he sold it to. He had it there to sell. And she waited on me. And I didn't have no more trouble, but I think he fired her because I never see her anymore. Them people want to sell that stuff. They won't just soon sell it. They don't care who they sell it to, just so they get their money. But that was an old, poor, white person. They're that way. I have had it happen to me in meat markets and places. Just walk past it. There used to be a Kroger store there where Banner Whitehill is. It used to be in that building. And I used to go downtown and buy my groceries and catch the bus and lug all them things home. There were two meat markets, one in the one block and one down the next block. Well, I went to the one down the next block, and I got some meat, and he wrapped it in white paper and marked it with a red pencil. Then I went into Kroger's store, and my packages I just put them in the sack with my groceries I was buying there. Well, I had a shopping bag. They used to have them, you could buy them, with a little a place to hold to. Well, I had my meat that I'd bought down at this meat market in this bag. When she got through checking out the stuff on the counter, on the thing, why, I said, I handed her this bag with my meat in it that I had bought down the next block. And it was white paper with a red pencil mark on it. I looked around. I wasn't paying no attention to her, just waiting there for her to put my food in the bag, and I paid her, and she looked in my bag. I just set it up there so she could put that other stuff in it. It was Kroger's store. And she was holding my packages up, showing it to the man in the meat department. And when I looked around and seen her holding up my meat, I said, what are you doing? She was asking him if I got it back there, because they marked their packages with red pencil. They had white paper. I said, you better put that meat down there in that bag where I had it. I bought that before I come in this store. And that man made her, and he must have fired her. She was an old white woman, and she had black hair. She was an old white woman, middle-aged. She wasn't a young woman, and she wasn't a real old woman, but she was old enough to have some sense. And I didn't see her in that store no more, because I used to go in there every week. And they found out that meat belonged to me. I had done bought it down there at the meat shop, meat market. And here she was holding it up, acting like I had stolen it and put it in there. Now, how'd she think I got it packaged? And she was holding it up so the clerk back there in the meat department could see it. And I said, what you doing? You put my meat back in there. You had no business taking it out. I said, I bought that meat before I come in this store. And there was all these people all in the lines, people standing behind there, and I was embarrassed. And I never did go in that store again and buy nothing. I never would go in there no more after that. Until, I guess I did go in there too later on, because I discovered she wasn't working there no more. That old woman wasn't in there no more, and I know the man must have fired her because she made that big mistake. And I went down to that store one day, and I told this man, he had worked up there in Kroger's, and but he had took his job in the meat market. And I told him about it, and I said that, you know, that meat I bought here, when I went in Kroger's, the woman took my meat out of my bag. You could buy them shopping bags, you know, in the meat markets to carry your things in. And I had bought one, and I had my meat that I bought down there, and I went in Kroger's to buy some other things, but I already had my meat. Well, when I went back down there, I told him what happened, and he said, well, Negroes nothing. And in especially clothing stores and places like ball stores and most exclusive places, why, you couldn't hardly go in them stores and buy nothing, because they wouldn't wait on you. And but they was glad to get anybody in them stores nowadays. They didn't care what you look like or what color you are. But there was a lot of prejudice, but we didn't have no trouble with the people that lived around us. They were just people. They were just people, and they knew that we were neighbors, and they were neighborly. We never had no trouble. But I know when we was in school, we used to have to whip white people all the time, white boys and girls all the time, because they'd call us nigger. And one girl called us nigger, who's come from school, right up here on Russell Street, and she lived on Russell Street. We grabbed that little gal by her hair, and we drug her. We beat her. And she run hollering for her mama. We come right past her house. And I said, she called us a nigger, that's the reason we whipped her. She said, what else are you? I said, you come out here, I'll bet you won't know what else you are. And we would all jump on them. Yes, call, what else are you? Oh, we used to have some whang dangers out here. But there's not too many. Well, there was better class of people lived around here. Now, there was white people lived over there in that house. White people lived in that next house. White people lived there. They lived up on Macedonia. Oh, there wasn't hardly any colored down in here. For years and years. But it was mostly white people lived back there in that little old house and in that garage and anywhere they could live. All over Whiteley. It was white people. But they ain't hardly any white people out here in Whiteley anymore. Only up in Austin Heights, there's white people up in there. But you don't see too many people, white people in Whiteley. Most of the white people have died off or sold their property and moved. And these Negroes is living in them houses, buying them houses. And there's a lot of nice homes up in that part of Whiteley that Negroes live in.
So they used to try to give you a hard time. Huh?
Oh yes, in the stores and around here. But we used to whip them so bad that they didn't bother us. They'd say, "Don't bother them." They knowed our name. They said, "Don't you bother them." There's a whole lot of them, because we'd all jump on them.
And you all go to school together?
Yeah. Yeah, we went to the same school. Because we didn't have no segregated schools, only there was one, it was a junior high school, I think. I think, it seemed to me like it was Burris that they have out there now. They have a Burris school. I think at first they didn't allow any colored students in there. But now you can go to any school you want to go to. You got the money to buy your books and things. You can go. They don't care. And you can go most any place to eat anymore. They'll shoot you and you couldn't go in them places and buy nothing. These eating places like you can now. We could go in them Greek places, in them Coney Islands, they call them. We could go in there. But you couldn't go in them white restaurants and places that you can go in now. I always felt like that was so useless, because after all, you had the money to pay for what you was going to get, and it looked like the fools wouldn't have cared who they sold it to. But people were like that then. They just didn't want Negroes to be recognized as humans.
Did you run into a lot of that on jobs also?
Well, no, not too much, not too much. People was able to hire you weren't like that. They were of a better type person, people. They'd rather have, I worked for a white woman that I worked for her for 7 years. This housework, general housework. She said she'd rather pay a colored person 3 times as much to work with her than to pay a white woman for less. Yes, she wouldn't hire a white woman. There was a lot of white people who wouldn't hire white people to work for them because they knew the Negroes would do a better job. And then they didn't want to, if it was a young woman, they wouldn't want her to if they had children of their own, like boys or girls. They didn't want poor white folks working for them because they was always trying to marry into the family, you know, because they would try that. And they didn't want them people in their family, and they wouldn't hire them. They'd hire a colored person first.
The whites were conscious about keeping their status.
Oh, yes. But well-to-do white people would hire colored help. But it was the ones that wasn't well-to-do they would hire the poor white folks. But then rich people wouldn't hire the white people for their help because they felt like they couldn't trust them, and they would try to get involved with one of their children, and maybe the boy or the girl. And they didn't want that. They didn't want those poor white folks in their family. So they wouldn't hire them to work in their homes. They wouldn't hire them for that.
Now, what about these organizations like the Klan, things like that? Do you remember any?
Yes. I remember when, I don't know what year it was, but I lived down there on Broadway where there was a house there where the Hudson filling station is now, where it used to be. It's still there, but it's not occupied, that Hudson place, right down at the end of Lowell Street at Broadway. Okay. Where it says Hudson on the building. There used to be a skating rink there. And them Ku Klux Klans come into Muncie, and they had been burning crosses around here somewhere. And I lived in a house down there it was a 2-story house. My kids were small, and we had an upstairs. The house had an upstairs, the bedrooms were upstairs. And one year, them Ku Klux Klan had a meeting. It would last a whole week, I think. And I could go upstairs and look right down in there and see they had some kind of convention or some kind of gathering there one night. Well, they had it there for about a week. And all these Ku Klux Klan were there, come from these towns around here. And they gathered down there in this skating rink. These people that owned it rented it to the Ku Klux Klan. And my husband would work at nights, and I would go upstairs. And you know, they didn't even allow you to look out your window into that building. They didn't want you to. I done it whenever I got ready, because I lived over there, and I opened my window up and looked right down in there, because the house was sitting right beside of the place.
So it was an open skating rink. Like,
yeah, it had no, the windows. It had windows.
Oh, the skating rink.
Yeah, the skating rink had windows. Well, I could go upstairs and look right down in there and see what they were doing. And them old Pecks would walk around outside with their artillery and stuff. And my husband was working nights, and some nights I'd be scared that they might shoot me. And, well, people got to talking about it, and by me living down there, and there wasn't no other houses along there, that was the only house in that block. And I was in it, my husband was working at night. And I slept upstairs, my kids slept upstairs, and I would go up there, but they didn't want you to look over into the building, and you could see over in there and see them milling around in there. But by being there by myself, I didn't do that too much because I seen them watching me. And I thought I better not do it because I didn't know nothing about no Ku Klux Klan or nothing. And I had never heard of them before, but I knew they didn't like Negroes. And I knew that I was there by myself, me and my kids, and I didn't want them to. So I come up home and stayed up to my mother. She was living. And I come there at night, so I would stay up there. Because they could have done anything to me. I was just there with my kids. They were small. And I couldn't handle that, so my husband worked at night.
Well, what year was that?
I don't remember what year it was.
You say it's before the Depression or after?
Well, I think it was before the Depression.
So it probably was around the 20s or something.
It probably was. You'd have to find that out from somebody else. I don't remember what year it was, but I know my kids were small. It must have been back there in the, around the 15th year or let's see. I'm trying to think back now. My kids were, and my boy, my last child was born down there. This boy right here. He was a baby. That was my last child. And he was born down there, in that house. The rest of the kids I lived now, my first two children were born down there. And then I had a baby born dead. And then I had this last child, my boy. And he was born, let's see. I ought to remember when he was born. He's 59 now. He had the birthday just the 23rd of this month. That was last Saturday, wasn't it? Or Friday or something. It was last week. He was just had his 59th birthday. But he was just small. He was born down there in that, when the Ku Klux Klan, it was way back there. I don't even remember the year that they were there, but it was when he was born. And he's 59, just had his birthday, the 23rd. He was born, and I had a niece who was born on his birthday.
Do you remember any other incidents involving any groups who were hostile to blacks or any people, anything like that?
No, I don't think so. We never had no trouble until the Ku Klux Klan came here. All the people were neighborly, and nobody thought nothing about anything. Colored people and white people mingled together. The people were nice people they lived around here. They were real nice, friendly people. There wasn't nothing prejudiced about it. But when the Ku Klux Klan come in here, they rented that place down there, and they had their gatherings there. and they didn't think you ought to even look at them or go outside your home or nothing. And they were so treacherous, but they didn't bother me. I just left home and come on up to my mother and stayed till they moved out from down there. They was having some kind of session down there and gathering, and they didn't want you to see what they were doing. They had on them. I found out a whole lot about it, and I said, "Oh, I'm not going to stay in there." When I joined the congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, and people live strictly like the Bible points out. They live by that Bible. That's what they teach. It costs money to burn electricity. It costs money for heat. But as far as paying a preacher, everybody is a minister. And they teach what they learn from the Bible to somebody else. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nobody gets paid. If there's any now, to keep a place together, you have to have electricity, you have to have water, you have to have toilets, you have to have all those things. Well, that costs money. That's the only money, and nobody is forced to pay anything. If you want to give some money, nobody gives. Them people the members don't get that money. That money is for the upkeep of the building, to heat it, to have lights, and to have a decent place to worship. But as far as anybody getting paid, nobody gets paid to preach, because God's going to reward everybody that serves Him. That's what He said in the Bible. God's going to reward you. Now the preacher will tell you, you stealing God's money. That's God's money. God don't need no money. He created everything. What's He need money for? Everything belongs to Him. But that's what they'll say. I've heard Reverend Brothers say it plenty of times, because I got out of there just on account of Reverend Brothers. He's one of those boys. Sure, still preaching up there at Antioch. Sure, yeah.
Oh, he heard Reverend Do that too.
Reverend Do is at the Union Church.
Okay, they told you.
And Reverend Brothers is Antioch.
Okay.
Reverend Brothers is a ring-tailed devil, and so is Reverend Do. I don't know what Reverend Do fools with women or not, but Reverend Brothers does. He chases women. He has girlfriends in the congregation, and I feel sorry for his wife. He's got a good wife. That first one he had wasn't so hot, but that he's got now is I believe she's a real Christian woman, as far as she knows. Got Reverend Brothers. I used to work out at Herschel Mason's. It has this oasis out here. It's a tavern called the Oasis on 12th Street, and I used to work in the home, and I had a friend that worked in the tavern, and I worked in the home, and he used to ask me, Herschel Mason used to ask me, did I know Reverend Brothers, and there was another preacher up there. I said, yes, I know Reverend Brothers, and the other preacher was preaching up here. I think his name was Mays. He asked me did I know them, and I said yes. He said, well, Reverend Mays, this other preacher, I think his name was Mays, said he's a nice person. Said I don't think he does any drinking, but said Reverend Brothers takes a fifth of gin with him every night. And there's a preacher getting up on the platform and telling you and shouting and jumping and carrying on and crying and hollering and everything. He's so good. And then he's doing a thing like that. That's how I lost faith in him. I just quit going. Because I was going to Antioch. I belonged there then. And here he was taking his whiskey, and then he got he was running around with women too. And he was, this woman, he separated, and him and his wife got divorced. His wife was running around with the man, and he was running around with the woman. They both married other people. Now, this woman that Reverend Broad's got now, I think she's the daughter of a minister, and she's a very nice person. Mm-hmm. And he's still Reverend Broad.
Mm-hmm. So your mother and father were saying they helped establish Antioch again.
Yes.
And then Mr. Duval was in his house.
Yes. Mr. Duval, he wanted to, they had this meeting place in his house. Well, he really was the instigator, because he was the one that suggested it, and they met there for a long time. We'd go there to that house for Sunday school and church. And then more people come. They begin to talk about building a church. So they bought a lot up there where Antioch Church is right now, and built a building there. And more people come in, and we had more money to pay to furnish it up and everything. So finally ended up in a nice church. Of course, they're in a whole lot of debt with it now, but it was just a common, ordinary building built out of wood. And that's where my mother and father and Mr. Duval, of course he's dead, all of his family's dead too. Maybe some grandchildren are living, but all his family is gone. But that's where we went to church, in that house, until they got together and built that lot, got that lot, and then built that building on it. And of course they had, at that time, they had outside toilets, just a building to worship in. And of course, since things have changed, and we have city water, and we have plumbing and everything, they've modernized it. And of course, they always have a place now where you can have food, cook food. They have kitchens in these churches now where you can cook food and you sell it. Use God's house for a house, or what do they call it? Merchandise. You know, Christ showed them people out of that temple. They were selling animals, sheep, and different things, and Christ showed everything out, making a house of merchandise out of God's house.
Some churches even have windows on.
Yes, they do, and you see, that's not worshiping God. And they do all them things in the churches, and the people say they're saved. They don't know what saved is. And I got out of Antioch Church. There was too much going on, and I didn't join in no other church. I didn't go to church for no church, unless it was to a funeral or something. And so now I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And that's the truest religion there is. Even the Catholics are faith. Well, I mean, they worship the Virgin Mary. When Jesus Christ is the one they should be worshiping, and the Almighty God, His Father, they're worshiping the Virgin Mary, who was a woman just walking around here on the earth. She wasn't anointed. Christ was the Son of God, and He was anointed with the Holy Spirit. Mary was just His mother, and she didn't even have a husband or anything. But you know how Christ had come to be, don't you? Huh? Well, see, that was a miracle. That's what that was. But people, they don't do what Christ sets out in His Word, and in the Bible it tells you what you're supposed to do. But the people don't do that. They just got their hands out.
Is there a Kingdom Hall? Did you go to Kingdom Hall?
Yeah, we had two here. One on 26th Street out here south, and one out here on Centennial. I go to that one.
Yeah. Mrs. House, when it was established, Antioch was established, do you remember who was there that was in the building?
No.
Because that was still when you were living at home, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So that, okay. So
Yeah, I was just a kid.
So it must have been around.
It was way back
in
then.
1950.
Well, it was way back there. Now we came here in 1903, and it wasn't too far after that, after we got acquainted with people around here, and then these people started gathering in houses, groups, and worshiping. And I was just a child, so I guess it was back there, and maybe something wrong there. I don't think it was that. I think it was before that, before 1950. Yeah. They probably got the date of
the church
at the church.
Yeah, I understand.
But I've never paid no attention to it. It's been a